Hey, what's going on out there, Atlanta Falcon fans, man? It's a Sunday. It's a Sunday. Only 8 more Sundays till the regular season starts. But that means we only 4 weeks away from the preseason starting.
I'm
And we
telling you.
only 2 weeks. That's right. I said it. 2 weeks from training camp. Well, it's less than 2 weeks now.
Yeah, yeah.
24th is like 9 days away, 8 days. So a week from a week
Can't
from
wait.
Thursday. So
Mhm.
look,
I say
like I
can't
said, we're
wait.
gonna ball out, we're gonna have fun. And we gonna be at training camp on the 24th. And guess what? We're gonna talk about training camp battles right now before we get there. So when we get there and
Why
y'all
not?
see us, y'all don't know exactly how we feel about everything. But you know what to do, man, before we start this thing off.
Hey man, first and foremost, let's go Hawks, man. Shout out to the Hawks, man, winning their second summer league. I know it's just summer league, but I'm gonna big up my teams, man. But this is about the Atlanta Falcons, man. Happy to be back in. We was me and Smitty, we was talking, we was like, hey man, we got to get these training camp battles in, these videos in, man. We've been kind of slacking, but
I
everything
definitely
happened.
do that, Uncle Lou. Definitely.
Hey, what's good? Hey, what's good? What's good? You know what I'm saying? But definitely,
Definitely tell them to say hello.
oh yeah, for sure. For sure, man. Still it was unbelievable just running into him at the UFC event that we had back in Atlanta, UFC fight night, and just running into Tyler. That was cool as hell. But
Facts.
yeah, man.
But we're gonna get to this cornerback. I'm sorry, wide receiver. See, I'm just too used to talking cornerback, and that's my favorite position.
Okay.
Tonio, what's up, my guy?
What's good, family?
But yeah, man.
What's up with everybody?
Before I get started, man, I want to also say, man, I want to send a big thank you, a shout out to all of y'all, man. Sent me a happy birthday yesterday. I truly appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Enjoyed family for a little while and got on right back to the house. And shout out to my boy Winston, man. Winston gave me a big shout out on Facebook, man. Showed me some love. So shout out to
Sure
Winston,
did.
man. Y'all go check him out on the iTest on Facebook and YouTube. And subscribe to the iTest on YouTube. But let's get to these wide receivers, man. We already know with Drake London, man. Drake London, man, he was um, the catalyst behind that, late season run, and he turned into a different receiver
Mm-hmm.
once he got a competent quarterback. And I'm not gonna say competent. I got here a confident quarterback that can make all the throws that needed to be made when the Falcons needed. If y'all keep up with stats, he was, I think, top three rated in yards, receptions, and touchdowns the last 3 games with Michael
Oh yeah.
Penix. So that is a good sign going into this season, and it's good that they have some kind of rhythm going into training camp because um, it's going to be hard. It's hard for any player, wide receiver, tight end, running back, whoever's going to catch football, to keep switching quarterbacks. And this is what you've seen, as I call it, Ferris wheel the last 4 or 5 years with Matt Ryan, Marcus Mariota, Tyler Heineke, Desmond Ritter, Kirk Cousins. So now you get a quarterback going to his second season who's familiar with these receivers, and I think it's a plus for the Falcons. So Drake London, to me, he's easily going to be the number one guy, and we can pretty much assure that. But that number one guy, what's your thoughts on Drake London the last half of the season? Because I feel like he just turned to a different guy.
Well, I mean, it happens like that when you have a guy that can get you the football. We seen it with Kurt when he was healthy. Kirk Cousins, he was getting able to get Drake London the ball. He was able to get, spread the ball around, period. But when Michael Penix took over, you really could see like that extra gear. It was just like a whole different whole conglomerate of everything within the season, man. It's just like I enjoyed being able to see, since this past season, Drake London seemed like he having fun playing football, especially with toward the end of the season with Michael Penix, getting that camaraderie, with him, and especially this offseason. But shout out to Drake always. But I definitely gotta mention Darnell Mooney, man. Darnell Mooney is if there's a guy that is forgotten about in plain sight, I believe it's Darnell Mooney. Because outside of Drake London, Darnell Mooney at times was looking like he was the number one receiver, being able to find the zones, to run routes, be that guy that can take the ball short, intermediate, or
What's up,
long
Doug?
ends. Made great
Facts.
catches, great
Facts.
catches, you know what I'm saying? Saved a few plays as well. When Kirk Cousins was having a few bad throws, I say Darnell Mooney still had the ability to adjust and make some catches. Now, yes, he had some drops. Some of those drops, caused him to not have 1,000 yards outside of dealing with the injury, the shoulder injury. So yes, he has to be more durable. But if Darnell Mooney can stay healthy, and if Darnell Mooney can get locked in with Michael Penix, like I believe he is, Darnell Mooney is guaranteed to be 1,000-yard receiver again, and it's going to be with the Atlanta Falcons this time. So I'm riding high with
Agreed.
Darnell Mooney, a guy that can catch on all three levels, I believe. So we can have a total of like three guys with over 1,000 yards. And I know we have had guys like Calvin Ridley, who's got over 1,000. We've had guys like Mohamed Sanu, but I believe that Darnell Mooney and Drake London, if they stay together, these guys will be like that tandem that will have multiple thousand-yard seasons, like Roddy and Julio did way back when.
Absolute facts.
Just trying to sneak
No,
this.
big bro. We no man. We know we behind on our training camp battles, and we had a little free time, so we just decided to pop in right quick. Drake
Yeah,
Murphy was good, my guy.
was good,
So
man.
yeah, but
Man, it's hot.
good way to segue. Good way to segue into Darnell Mooney. I agree with that 100%. He definitely can run every route on the route tree.
Mm,
I think he can get more consistent with his hands because some of those throws, the drops that he had, some of them were hit him in the hand, but a couple of them were underthrown, overthrown, and
right.
it happens. But switching to the number 3 guy, Ray McLeod, and this is gonna be interesting because he
That was
actually
a pleasant
overachieved.
surprise. Pleasant surprise
He
for
actually
Ray Ray.
overachieved last year. If you ask me, he put up
Yeah.
he put up an absolutely stunning season to me. Known to be a special teams guy, kick returner, punt returner, and for him to put up the number that he did last year, look, can we get the same production out of him this year? Absolutely. If he's
Mm-hmm.
targeted just as much, but you talk about a guy last year with 62 catches for
Mm-hmm.
686 yards, 11.1 yard average, and only had one touchdown, but he made a lot of key catches in the
Yeah.
clutch, and he controlled the scenes, something that we expected Kyle Pitts to do, and we'll get into that a little later. But when you talk about Raven McLeod, what he meant to the Falcon controlling the middle of the field, it helped Bijan Robinson in the run lanes. It helped dial down the pass rush just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But him going into this another season with the Falcons, do you expect him to get 60 catches again, or was that
Hey,
one of those?
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Do I see 62 catches? There is a great possibility of that. Because I mean, when you look at, if you go by like his game log, it wasn't like he was just breaking out for, let's say, 5, 6 catches per game or anything. He would have 2, 3 here, but he did have games to where he stepped outside of that and had like games with 6 catches. He did have like, well, I think he had game he had the most catches in was the Minnesota game, and we already know that what happened at debacle. But still, he had 11 targets and 8 receptions in that game. So he can be a guy to get volume targets. 98 yards that game. And
Right.
still this season, he had games to where, if I'm not mistaken, yep, he had over five games to where he had over 50 yards, as a third receiver. So again, like I said, Ray Ray was a pleasant surprise. Um, and honestly, I think he can get 60 catches again. I know some people will say it's film on him now, and he's not going to be like, oh, that guy that you forget about. But he still can be, especially if 1 and 2 are doing their jobs. If Drake is doing his job, being that big body receiver,
Right.
possession receiver, if Darnell Mooney is doing his job, running every route in the route tree, being that guy that can go short, intermediate, or long, I mean, you're gonna have to roll some coverage. So guess who gets open again? Ray McLeod, somebody that also will be locked in multiple years into the same system. Somebody that Zach Robinson can see that he's seen before and sees what he can do with him now. And I believe it can evolve, y'all. I really do. So even though there's going to be film on him, Ray McLeod has an opportunity to get at least 60 catches again.
Appreciate it, Mike. We had a question already about Nick Nash. It said, do y'all think Nick Nash is going to get on the field? And this is a good question, man,
Moving
because it's
forward.
so many battles unknown in that wide receiver room. And I'm about to pull up the depth chart right quick for y'all so y'all can see just like what we watching. Um, you look at the depth chart right here. Darnell Mooney is, wide receiver 2. Ray McLeod is 3. But at 4 is a log jam. And the reason why I say that, you look at Kadera Hodge, who's our special team ace. And he showed up big time in some games with big catches last year. Y'all remember the game winner against Tampa in overtime, amongst many. But Casey Washington, who played last year, suffered a concussion and it hurt him
Yeah,
the back half of the season. Did not play much after that. And we saw what he can do in preseason. And I know preseason just preseason, but he seemed in rhythm with Michael Penns in that Miami game. So that's a guy that could get the 4th spot. You look at Chris Blair,
right.
who's been here a while.
Yeah,
He could battle,
practice
but he's
squad
been
guy.
mostly a practice squad player. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Practice
mean,
squad
and
guy.
one name that's way over in the corner is
Way in the
Quincy
back.
Skinner Jr.
Right.
So he's
Sleeper.
a guy that can he can be just like at the Olympics, come from the back end of the race and pull around and do this thing because you talk about a guy with speed. He has pretty good speed, pretty good hands. Now he does need to pick up a little bit of weight, but yeah, he could be one of those guys if given the chance. He could be pretty scary. But Nick Nash, who y'all asked about, Nick Nash,
Right.
a lot of people don't talk about around the league, but we've heard raised throughout the OTAs. Led the college football in receptions and yards last year and touchdowns.
Darn,
He
yeah.
was I think he was second or
16
third
of
in
them guys.
touchdowns. So yeah, he knows how to find the end zone. But right quick, man, who do you think takes that number 4 spot or battles Ray Ray for that number 3 spot?
Well, as far as battling Ray for that 3 spot, I can already tell you it's going to be an uphill battle because Ray has already, like I said, been that pleasant surprise, and I think that they like different ways that they can use Ray. So if you're going to overtake that number 3 spot, you really have to come in and be dogging in training camp. What's good, family? But as far as that 4 spot, like you said, going back to the log jam, I think it's going to be a little bit more easier than what you think. I mean, because you look at Jamal Agnew, I feel like that's special teams. Kadera
Right.
Hodge, that's like a Swiss
Special
Army
team.
knife. Yeah,
Yeah.
but he special teams and emergency receiver. So I feel like
Right.
those two guys are going to be on the team regardless for those reasons. But then you start getting into the Chris Blairs. That is a veteran that's been here, mostly been a practice squad guy, only really get elevated when injuries. I don't mind going into a different direction if you're just going to use him for that. I feel like you can use one of these other guys for that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Maybe like a Skinner or a Nick Nash. But honestly, Nick Nash has the ability to come in and overtake a 4 spot. The thing that we're not talking about is not the Chris Blairs, it's not the Quincy Snyders, not even the Jesse Matthews. It's can Nick Nash overtake Casey Washington? Yeah, I believe the 4 spot is Casey Washington's job to lose, actually, because he's
Facts.
already been here. He's already had some rapport with the quarterback. So you already know Michael's going to at least say something in a good regard to Casey. He's going to get his opportunities. It's all about can Nick Nash overtake him? Does he have the ability? Yes. But will he? That's going to be the biggest question. I think it's Casey Washington's job to lose as long as he's staying healthy and being productive. I feel like he can possibly
Absolutely.
end up getting that spot, man, just to be honest.
And I'm glad you talked about fill-in spots. And this is where the wide receivers are going to be important and come into play. We talked about injuries. Injuries are going to happen. It could be a Nick injury, Nick Nack all the way through the season. And the big question, who's going to step up? So I think we were going to see in practice, in training camp and in preseason, who's going to step up and take that 4th spot. Because I feel like, honestly, Casey Washington and Nick Nash could both overtake Ray McLeod, and I'm not being mean. And the reason why I say that, I told y'all from the jump, he was a special teams guy that overachieved last year. So maybe they're looking for 2 guys to move in the 3rd and the 4th spot, just in case injury happen or just in case matchups. And I know the NFL is all about matchups when it comes to playing certain teams. Say like if you got bigger corners, of course you're gonna go with Nick Nash and Chris Blair and guys like that. But what if you go
Right.
against smaller, faster, technical sound cornerbacks? That's when you need the Ray McLeod. That's when you need these other smaller guys. And I would have
Right.
loved to see what Rondell Moore could have did, but I understand why he left. It was injury riddled season that he was here, so time for a fresh start.
Right.
But honestly, what will Zach Robinson scheme wise? How do you feel like Zach Robinson will use Raymond McLeod this year compared to last year? Because
Mm.
I think it's going to be dialed up a whole lot different.
Well,
How
to
do you
be honest
think
with
Zach Robinson is going to use you guys?
Well, yeah, it's going to be some differences, but I think honestly, Smith is going to be a lot of similarities. It's going to be different. He has that speed. I think some of the best ways to get Ray going is to already have him like in motion, and already have him like
Right,
getting that shot out the gate, and have him get into space because we already know he has that returner ability, so we know he can see the field a little bit different, and he's going to find spaces. I believe, so you definitely, of course, going to keep him in the slot. I feel like you can just like move him around. I feel like you can get actually experimental in training camp to see exactly. Let's see where we can put Ray to see how we can use Ray. And at the offensive mind of Zach Robinson, I believe he's going to be doing that in training camp. There's going to be a lot of similarities, and of course, there's going to be a little bit differences. But I believe he's going to kind of keep it simple with him. He knows what he can do well. Use his strengths, so there's no point in getting cute. We talk about that all the time. So use him to his strengths. It's
right.
going to be a lot of similarities.
Absolutely. And one thing I like to tell y'all, man, about wide receivers who play special teams, it goes for Cordero. I'm sorry, well, still Cordero Patterson when he was here.
Yeah. Yeah.
It goes for Ray McLeod. It goes for any other special teamer that plays wide receiver. They see the field totally different. All you got to do is get them the ball in space, and they're going to produce. Why? Because they're
Mm.
always used to 10, 15 guys coming to them at once. So when they find that hole, to find that slight opening just to get through, um, I think it gives them the advantage over other guys. And we had a comment right here from Anthony. He said the wide receiver four has to plan to play special teams. That's why Blair and Casey Washington got the nod over Nick Nash right now. That's absolutely correct.
That's another point.
And look, I'm telling you, special teams is important. And is also gives them a different type of toughness too, because they know when they hit the field, they got to produce right away because they don't never know when they're going to be on and off in these schemes where Zach Robinson will dial up. Now, one thing I would like to see more with Ray is a lot more screen passes. I would like to see a lot more screen passes because, like I said, when he's in open space, I think it's his strength. If y'all
That's what
remember
I'm
this guy
saying.
named
Get them
Antoine
open.
Smith back in the day, played running back. When you gave Antoine Smith the ball in space, I
Man,
running his name with that. But yeah, he made plays. So
it's
look, I'm
awesome.
telling you, just
Shout
get
out
him
to
in space. That's
Antoine
all you
Smith,
gotta do.
man. Wherever you are, sir. Shout out to Antoine Smith. I have
Miss
a
Charlene,
controversy.
what's good?
Hey, how you doing, Miss
Hold on. I gotta say
Charlene?
this right quick. Miss Charlene, where you been? I ain't seen you in a minute. This is one of my biggest followers, man. She been with me since day one. Since I had 48 subscribers. I tell y'all that all the time. So I hope everything good with you, Miss Charlene. Haven't seen you on the channel in a while, but thank you for always supporting me.
Yes,
But
man.
go
Yes,
ahead, Chris.
I about to say, man, as much as I like both players, right? Then I don't think Nick Nash and Quincy Snyder both make, but Skinner both make it. I
Yeah,
don't
I
think they.
mean, you can. I mean, yeah, you can understand it because, like he said, special teams is going to be key. But the thing about it, I think they better keep one of these guys on practice squad just in case. And the only thing I hate about that is somebody can pick them right off the practice squad, use them
Yeah,
right in the game. But it happens. Can't keep everybody. But go ahead.
yeah. I mean, that's why I feel like, man. Because again, just going back to the point about special teams, again, Kadera Hodge is going to be there. It's like, can one of these guys overtake Chris Blair's opportunities? For special teams, for practice squads, for emergency. Can any one of those guys do that? And also, you think about it, just outside of how the scheme works too, bro, it's gonna be tough sledding. Like I like the kids, but I feel like a lot of times this offseason we've talked about these two guys, especially Nick Nash in particular, so much like it's almost like a guarantee. Same thing with Kobe Bryant. You know what I'm saying? Like it's almost like a guarantee. And it's not necessarily a guarantee. And I think it's even more so in this situation for guys like Nick Nash and Quincy Skinner. I like both players, we love them both on the team, but there's only so many slots. And from what I'm looking at right now, you already got the 1, 2, and 3 locked up. Casey Washington, a guy again, I feel like it's his job to lose. Cordero's going to be here. Jamal's going to be here. And then you start getting to the Chris Blairs of things and stuff like that. Can one of these guys overtake Chris Blair? Can one of these guys outshine Casey Washington? That's going to be the biggest question, and I'm honestly going to be watching for that in particular. Can one of these young guys overtake one of these veterans, even if it is a year or two? Still a veteran compared to one of these guys. So I'm definitely going to be interested in that.
The unknown said, I think Zach is about to open up the playbook because Michael Penix
Mhm.
can place it anywhere. Might be 2016 all over again. And we
I'm not
talked
mad
about that.
to
If
hear
y'all,
it.
hey, if y'all go back to that video me and Chris did about history repeating itself, teams are built very similar. Wide receiver, yeah, we don't have no Julio Jones, but we have a Drake London who can be productive just like Julio Jones as far as production. Because when you're a freak nature like that, you can't replicate that. But as far
Nah,
as production wise, you can also put up the right production um, in these receivers like that 2016 team. And Matt Ryan didn't have the strongest arm, but what Kyle Shanahan did, he used that playbook and he used the running game to the advantage of helping Matt Ryan, helping to open the field up for Matt Ryan to have a little bit more open receivers. So all they have to do right now with these receivers and Zach Robinson, do what
mm,
you do. Open up the playbook. Michael Penix can make the throws. But
can.
first of all, you got to be able to run the football. And I think this is where Bijan comes in. And we don't talk about him enough as a receiver. He was
Hmm.
one of the top receiving backs in the league last year. And if you add his receiving to the pass game, this makes this offense even more dangerous because
It does.
Tyler can catch the football. Bijan, when you look at back at 2016, you talk about Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman. Those two guys, they were thunder and lightning, and it's the same thing with Bijan and Tyler. So I mean, it's similarities as far as the pass game wise. But what with Bijan, what do you think Bijan brings his element to this offense, his dynamic? How much more
Oh,
dynamic do you think it will make this offense?
man, the thing about it is Bijan Robinson has the ability to take your offense anywhere you want to go. You just got to give him you got to give him the rock. You got to give him the opportunities. Every player that we were talking about need oppos. So having Bijan Robinson, you can still run your outside zone. You can still run inside with Tyler. I feel like again, man, you can have these two backs right here that you have is really a luxury. The thing about Bijan is you want to keep that luxury as long as you possibly can. So I think it'd be good to mix
Facts.
in, but to mix Bijan for the explosive plays, and when it's time to wear the guys down, it's time to get the ball to Tyler. To preserve both players because we want to keep Tyler as long as we possibly can, and you want to keep Bijan healthy for as long as you possibly can because you drafted him to be your running back for at least, let's say, what the next 5 to 10 years, 10 if you're lucky. I'm talking about, but it's just like you got to keep that guy preserved. That's the most thing I'm thinking about. I'm not worried about any ability of Bijan Robinson. He amazes us every time he touches the ball. So it's just I'm not worried about that. I'm just worried about his durability. I'm worried about how Zach Robinson will continue to use him in space. I would like to see Bijan Robinson, just like Ray McLeod, get him going and get that speed already kicked into gear, get the ball to him out in space and let him do what he do. Never know. He already has the plans to finally break that 70-yard type play that we were looking for. Because I mean he's right there. He's on the cuff of it. But some Bijan Robinson, I know he's working. He's getting stronger. He's working out with Christian McCaffrey. We've seen him different things. He's working on his game and he's fine tuning it. This right here, this season is going to be Bijan Robinson's best season overall as a football player. I mean, now the numbers, we'll see what happens because I believe Michael Penix is going to spread the ball around, but overall, I think this will be Bijan's best year as a football player overall.
And that says a lot because last year you saw his numbers. You ran for over 1,400 yards, 14 touchdowns. I mean, if you saying that, uh, that's going to be one of the best running backs in the league. And if y'all want quick numbers, listen to the leaders for the Falcons back in 2016. Matt Ryan, the offense scored 540 points. Matt Ryan threw for 4,900 yards, almost 5,000, about 56 away from 5,000. Can Michael Penix duplicate that? Possibility. Julio Jones that season, 83 catches for 1,400 yards, and the leading rusher was Devontae Freeman with 1,079 yards. So all those numbers are very obtainable. And I think that team scored about 32 points a game, if I'm not mistaken. So when you look at, the dynamic of those numbers, this team absolutely could do that. So it's just going to be whether they put things in the right perspective as far as game plan against whatever team. Everything just got to come out, with game planning, point blank period. Because we have very tough games with very tough secondaries, pass rushes, and all that. So it just all how you game plan. But go ahead.
No, I'm just saying we got to be ready, guys. I mean, at the end of the day, I have all the optimism in the world. So at the same time, just trying to be realistic as well. And I'm interested to see exactly about training camp to see who is going to be the guys to stand out, who is going to be the guys that step up. And I just can't wait to get to training camp, man. I really do, man. Again, we're talking wide receivers right now. And again, I see some good names on there. I see some guys that I want to see. Ultimately, it's going to come down to need, fit, production, I said all those, I said maybe a little politics. We'll see what happens. But there's also another position, man, before we get up out of here that I know of that we got to tackle because it only makes sense. And it's not tackle. It's actually tight end. So, like, Smitty, I got to ask you, man, how you feeling about the tight end spot? How are you? I mean, I know you've talked about Kyle Pitts until you're blue in the face, but at the same time, right. So that's what I'm saying. But we are to the tight end spot, and I gotta know your thoughts. What do you think about Kyle Pitts? What can one of these guys overtake Kyle Pitts?
Honestly, I don't think so. I think it's Kyle Pitts' job to lose. As my boy Ryan would say, he's put himself in this predicament. He's averaged under 40 yards a game the last 3 seasons. This is not the guy we drafted. The guy we drafted was that rookie season going over 1,000 yards, 15 yards a catch. That's the guy we need. And for this offense to be dynamic, I think he had to be a big part of it. Because like I've told y'all the last 2-3 years, this offense may only go as far as Kyle Pitts takes it. And there's not no slack to Michael Penix or none of these other guys on the offense. But when you have a guy that's 6'6", 4.4 speed, should be able to control the middle of the field, is a walking mismatch for anybody on the field. It's just heartbreaking, man, that he hasn't, produced like we thought he would. But on the other hand, if you think about it, if you get 60 catches, 850 yards, 5 touchdowns, that's success to me. The reason why I say that, I talked about the aforementioned wide receivers. You talk about Darnell Mooney going over 1,000 yards, Drake London going over 1,000 yards, Ray possibly giving you 4,500, and Kyle Pitts throws in another 850. That's combined another 1,000 yards. So if you get production where you need it, clutch catching, I think Kyle Pitts, to me, I don't care about the yards or the receptions. It's the red zone for me. When you get in the red zone, you use that size to put the ball in the end zone if you can't run it in. And I think Michael Penix can do that. So Kyle Pitts, this your year, dog. I stand by what I said. If he's not right by the trade deadline and they feel like a guy like Joshua Simon, who they're raving about, Charlie Warner, and I'm even say the kid from Houston, who we picked up. If they can show any kind of semblance of catching the football, I think Kyle Pitts is expendable. But I hope he
Mhm.
gives us better production because we see him working with Michael Penix the last 3 games, and
Mhm.
he did improve. So let's just hope that carries over into this season.
Right, absolutely, man. And the thing about it, but these all this stuff going on with him with being sidelined with the foot injury, that those raise so many concerns. But hey, the main thing is as long as he's in training camp, producing out there, running his routes, be coming out there giving 110% each day, then I believe he's going to be fine. Again, I agree with you. The whole thing about it's Kyle Pitts' job to lose. This is a contract year. This is the year that so we're waiting to see at least something similar to, let's say, the year when he first came in his rookie season. And of course, like you said, it has been heartbreaking that we haven't been able to see exactly so that unicorn that everyone was calling him. But we still have time. But this is the
Absolutely.
final act. This is the final act. If he does not show up, I believe he will not be a Falcon next year. But I believe if he does show up, I believe he will. So it's just like it's all on Kyle Pittman. The ball is literally in his court. It all depends on what does Kyle want to do.
What's up,
What's good,
Debo?
family? What's good? I mean, it's all about what Kyle Pitts wants to do. Does Kyle Pitts wants to show up?
Absolutely.
'Cause I believe he has all the ability to. But also, does the quarterback position have what it takes to get Kyle Pitts the ball? Absolutely. So we have everything in place. It's just all about Kyle Pitts going out there and showing that, hey, man, I am the best tight end that you didn't even know that you had. So we're gonna find out, man.
I agree. Unknown. That's my thought. I'm thinking 800 yards. That's a win to me.
That's a win. I'll
That's a
take that.
win.
I'll take that because
And
what?
Wiley said, yeah, Wiley said our tight end group solid, and I agree. Pitt's going to
Mhm.
be just fine. It's on Zach to be more creative with scheming, up more plays with Pitts, and me and Ryan and Chris been
I
talking
agree.
about that for I know almost a year. So it's up to Zach Robinson to unleash his talents. And the thing that I didn't like was he kind of threw Kyle Pitts up under the bus when he did an interview a couple of months ago. I didn't appreciate it because he should have took more blame for it because, like you said, if you don't game plan for a talent, and that's just like when we had Julio Jones. If you don't game plan for Julio Jones and don't get him the football, same with Roddy. Y'all saw what Roddy said when he was on his way out. What was his last straw? He know he could still produce, but you did not game plan for him to get the football. So it's about scheming and game plan to get Kyle Pitts the football. And like I said, you need to game plan more inside the 20 because you got to use that speed. Like
Right.
somebody said in the chat, Tampa Bay game, run out to the catch. Every time they caught Kyle Pitts and Scribe, he was gone.
You gone,
So
bro.
yeah, so I
It's
mean,
because he's
it's
that
just
mismatch, man. It's just he's either too big for some players or some other players are just too slow. So it's just he's a
absolutely
absolute mismatch all the way around, man. He's another rare combination of size and speed, not Julio like, but still, at the tight end position, you can kind of
right,
say, hey, man, he has that size and speed like him, though. It's all about Kyle Pitts. It's really no, it's accountability on both sides. It's got to be
right,
accountability from everybody because again, if the coaching staff doesn't game plan right, doesn't scheme right, get this man the ball. If the quarterback doesn't have the connection, something that him and Kirk Cousins did not have, if they don't have the connection, and then if this man isn't running his routes, if this man isn't giving 110% on every play, not just half of them, not just most of them, every play, if he's not blocking, all those things, then we're all having this conversation for nothing anyway. Because everybody has
facts.
got to be on point. The coaching staff, the quarterback, and the player. If we can
And
get
I and
all three to be
right,
on the same page, I believe we can go somewhere.
that's all. That's all it takes. That's why Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelsey stay on the same page. That's why they're so productive. It's all about game planning. But there's one name that I talked about, and that's Joshua Simon, rookie tight end out of South Carolina. Um, he's a little bit older. He's actually older than Kyle Pitts, and believe it or not, that's crazy. But I think him being older and played more college football, I think it's going to drive him to make the team. Because he also has the size, the speed, the hands, and the thing about him, he can actually block. So he's going to be one of those guys to keep an eye out on in preseason and training camp to make this roster. Because he has two veterans in front of him, in Charlie Warner, who played for the 49ers, and the Tegan Quincy Riano dude, who came from Houston as a free agent, and Felipe Franks, who's really a special teams guy. But I mean, Joshua Simon has a damn good shot to make this team. So as I look at it, the tight end position is pretty much set with Pitts and Warner, but it's just up to them to fend off everybody else. I think Tegan could be tight end three. Felipe Franks, if he makes the team, it'll be as a special teams guy, but he may be a practice squad guy. But Joshua Simon, if he comes on in preseason like he has in OTAs, I can see him sliding into that number three spot and making Tegan expendable because he's only signed a 1 year deal and the dead cap money space is probably just pennies. But yeah, Joshua Simon is somebody that you definitely got to keep an eye on. But Debo
I
had a
got
question, and I'm
yeah.
gonna let you answer it, Chris. Go ahead. I'll let you start. He want both our answers, but I'll let you
Okay. They
start.
said, yeah, saying talk me off a ledge. And shout out to Debo Vibes. Foodies. Make sure you check out his videos, man. He definitely be having some interesting places where he be having some food and some dining. So check that out as well, man. But he says KP has a marginal outside, has been marginal outside his whole career, outside his rookie year. How would this thing change the narrative, fellas? Well, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. To be honest with you, he's done some of his best work in line. I know in line he's had his most touchdowns, most receptions, most yards as well too. I believe 453 yards, which is the most, like I said, just at one slot position. So when you think about, and honestly, he can be used anywhere. Again, he can be that mismatch. It's all about how Zach Robinson wants to use him. I now outside now Smitty, he didn't like the interview with Zach Robinson. Me, I did, just because I felt like it was almost like a challenge. It was like, okay, I hear what you're saying. This all depends on the player and how you take it. Now he could take it as a good chip on the shoulder, like, okay, I'm gonna show you, coach, or he could take it like, man, I don't want to play for him. So it just all depends on the player and how he takes it. But honestly, I like that interview, and I want that fire underneath my tight end, the guy that I drafted, since the highest tight end overall. I believe if Zach Robinson places Kyle Pitts, it's an in line a little bit more closer to in line, I believe he can cut across that middle and be that mismatch. Too fast for the linebackers, too big for the DBs, and of course, take it down the field, looking similarly to how like National Tight End Day was looking, minus the bonehead play going across the touchdown line, but still. I say like that's where I feel like, if you can kind of move him more so closer to in line, I think he can have better production because he's had his best production there. Like he just like flat out.
Agreed. And I think if you look back at that Tampa game, I think the way that they should use him is, using more motion. And what
Mm-hmm.
I mean by that, put him in motion a lot, inline, X, um, slot, anywhere you can line him up because, like you say, he's a mismatch. And
Mismatch
if you put
anywhere.
him in motion, a little bit more, I think his best route is that wheel route. We saw it his rookie year, and we saw it over the last 3 years. You use more of that wheel route, especially inside the 40-yard line on your side of the field. I think he's even more dangerous. So it's just all about how you want to use him, man. Point blank, and I could talk you off the ledge. All Zach Robinson got to do is just do his damn job. Just that simple. If he do his damn job, we won't even have to worry about Kyle Pitts. 3 and D said, you think Pitts want to hang around if he has a breakout Pro Bowl year after all the talk from fans and local media? That's a good point.
Well,
That's a
winning
good point.
winning cures all, bro.
It,
Winning
it do.
cures all. And I believe if we're winning, I believe if everybody is embracing him, I believe if everybody, even if Kyle Pitts is going around the entire season, just leading by his play on the field and just showing everybody, hey, look, I just, we've had some hiccups, but I had to get right. We had to get right, and now you're seeing what happens when it does. It just
Right.
has to happen. That's all. It has to happen, especially this again contract year. So it's a big year for the organization and for Kyle Pitts being taken so high. We have to have it as Falcon fans. We have to have it from Kyle Pitts now. There's
And
no ifs,
honestly,
ands, or buts.
And honestly, depending on what the franchise tag is, if it's not too much, I can see them franchising for one season just
You
to see if
could.
they can get that same production. But at the end of the day, I don't think it'll be the fans or the local media that runs them off. I think it's gonna be the money at the end of the day. Because if he feel like he's still worth $15 million, even though we saying 12 to 15. I'm sorry, if he's worth $17 million, we still think he in the 12 to 14, 15 range, he's gonna
Mm,
chase the 17. So it's just really all about what he feel like he's worth. If he feel like he can stay around another season and better his season from 2025, go in 2026 with a better mindset, be more productive, and then that big deal comes along. Like I said, he's got time to do that. He's only 24 years old, so he's
he
got
does.
what, two big contracts left. So
He really
why rush?
does.
It? So why rush it?
Yeah, man. Honestly, again, man, you know how local media and everything is anyway. I mean, they've said worse things about better players, or we're not even gonna say better players, but similar talent. Let me say that. So, I mean, again, if we can start winning and he's producing, I think Kyle Pitts will want to be around a winning team, a team that he's been waiting to win with, regardless. I feel like we
Right.
go to the playoffs this year, get a playoff win, everybody's producing stuff like that. I think it's going to be better for the entire city just to have that atmosphere here. And regardless of what happens, even if we go all the way to the Super Bowl, whatever happens, I feel like the following year in 2026, we all will want more of it. So
Right.
there's an opportunity there. We just have to win more games. It's time to win because if we keep on losing, say knock on wood, burn some sage, whatever, say a prayer, whatever y'all into. But it's just like if we don't make the playoffs, then we're going to have a whole totally different conversation. Then it's going to be starting asking, okay, so what are we going to do with the players, coaches, GMs, stuff like that. And that's what I don't want to get to. I'm trying to go up.
Facts. Um, Tony, right? That's what I'm hoping. These are the last three that I'm hoping. And what y'all got to understand too about special teams,
Do that.
you got to throw Xavier Watts and Billy Bowman into the mix when we talk about special teams as well.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to take some spots as well. So if you're going to play receiver on this team, it's going to have to be receiver. I think Cordero Hodge and Raymond McLeod, they will make the team because of their special team
Right.
ability as well. But you got to factor in the rookies as well coming in trying to make the team. If special team is what they're going to be good at, that's what they're going to be good at. As
Gotta
D'Angelo
figure it out.
Malone, when they finally figured out what to do with D'Angelo Malone, put him on special teams, he was a sniper on special teams.
Mm-hmm.
Then when they put him in the game, guess what? He gets sacks. So sometimes that can build your character up, build you up as a player. So
Not,
yeah, I mean,
not to mention
yeah,
we brought in Felipe Franks as well, who is
right.
also a special team guy. He may end up getting a slot too. So it's just all the way around like a bunch of guys that you could have that you could take. And so we'll see what happens, man. It's gonna be interesting. I love the fact that we're coming into this training camp with maybe the most competition that we have seen in at least the last few years. I want to say at least until like it's like what 2020, somewhere in that area. At least the
Right,
last
right, right.
5 years. There's a lot of competition coming in, and it's going to be players that you're going to want to keep, but we're not going to be able to keep because there's only so many slots.
Contract. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
so
that,
many
that
slots,
depends.
contracts.
And it depends on which players are going to take a little bit of a pay cut to keep certain players around. And y'all have to keep that in mind. You got Drake London coming up, Kyle Pitts. Who
Mhm.
else? B. John Robinson. You're not talking about him, Tyler Algier. Both of your running backs, really. Both of your running backs, they're up for a new contract. Because after 3 years, you can sign a guy to a rookie contract minimum. I'm sorry, rookie contract max. And I think Bijan is probably going to be anywhere from I would say 15 to 20 million a year, which means he's gonna probably make about 4 years about $80 million or so, somewhere in that range. So
Mm-hmm.
when you talk about contracts, you got to think about everybody on the team, not just the players that we want to keep around, the key, the star players. Then you got to think about Bergeron. You got to think about McGarry if he comes back. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just so much goes into it, and this is why you always draft their replacements a season or two before.
Right.
So that just business. That's just the way business works.
Yeah. If you're not gonna keep a player, you got to go ahead and if you're gonna keep a player, I believe go and lock them up. But if you're not, and if it's on you on the fence, hey man, you got to start looking other places. And you think about it, that's why Joshua Simons is there. I mean, Felipe Franks, I don't think he's necessarily a threat, but I mean, he's there. I mean, Charlie Warner, I don't think he's necessarily a threat to Kyle Pitts either, but he's also there. So it's like even if you did move off of Kyle Pitts, it's like you have other people there, not as good as him right now. It's at least on paper, but same time, man, you gotta do what's best for your team. And if Kyle Pitts cannot do what most of us think, because the thing about it is I'm on Kyle Pitts' side as far as his ability, him being able to be that one a focal point into an offense and stuff like that. It's just here. He's not gonna be one, he's not gonna be two, shoot. He may not even be three, depending on, so what's going on. So, but can he elevate himself into that level? Can he elevate himself to be like, hey, if it ain't going to Drake, and if it ain't going to Bijan, it's going to me.
Yeah,
So
and two, I think he's starting in the right direction. If you've been following him this offseason, shout out to my boy Mike Ward, man. He over in Germany, man.
yes,
Serving
sir.
our country. So man, yeah, I
Representing the
always say a
Dirty
prayer.
Birds.
I always say a prayer for my boy M Dub, man. He's serving our country and he's doing a damn good job doing it. But
Facts.
um what I was about to say, with Kyle Pitts, you just gotta think about too, man. Um I like how he's been preparing this offseason. He skipped the tight end U. He's been in the film room and on the field with Penix, trying to get that rhythm down. And I seen a lot of fans mad about that tight end U, but that's just a count. I mean, he got more important things to worry about. So he's been, putting himself in a position to get better as far as working, on things. And then, like he said in the Cam Newton interview, you go into another season with the same quarterback.
Same
That's going to be
quarterback.
key. So
Same
look,
quarterback. Same offensive coordinator.
yeah,
Like
that makes a difference.
a
So at the
big
end of the
area.
day, he's doing what's right. But I agree, Wallace. I don't think they'll sign Bijan soon. Try to sign the other players before him, the ones they want to keep. Absolutely agree
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
But if Bijan Robinson age pushes for it, if he has another season where he has over 1,500 yards, double digit touchdowns, which let's say 20 total touchdowns, I mean, they wouldn't have no choice but to listen. Because one thing about it, numbers speak, and then the Pro Bowl appearances. What if they make a deep playoff run and he's part of the reason why it happens? I
Right.
mean, you got to listen. So
You do.
I agree with that to a certain extent. One thing about it, production and numbers talk. Um,
Right.
my boy Kyle freaking Pitts Unicorn foot is doing. They haven't said anything else about that foot, so I'm guessing it's recovering like it should.
Yeah.
So no news is good news,
You're right.
and I'm gonna leave it at that one.
That's why I said
So
I'm
yeah,
waiting on
Dre,
I'm waiting on the 24th because I'm definitely gonna be looking and seeing if I see number 8 out there. So I can't wait, man. I'm waiting for training camp again.
facts.
We're gonna be critical of every player, so when it's warranted. And honestly, the case is still out on Kyle Pitts because of course we've seen things to where he was like, come on, bro, you're lacking. And then we've seen things to where it's just like, come on, man, they are not putting him in the right positions. So
Right.
so again, I go back. Can the offensive coordinator, the coaching staff, can the quarterback and the player all get on the same page together? If that happens, I believe something magical can happen, especially with Kyle Pitts and Michael Penix, you know what I'm saying, as a duo, and the Falcons as an organization and as a team, man. That's
Facts.
that's what I
Facts.
got for that.
Facts. But I got a question for the chat before we get out of here, man. We doing another training camp battle this week, man. We want to know from y'all what training camp, and I'm gonna put it up in my community tab. What
Mm-hmm.
position would y'all like us to preview next? What training camp battle would y'all like us to preview next? Because we
Right.
really want to know y'all input. Because if we know y'all input, then we'll know um, exactly what to look at.
Exactly.
So we'll have it sometime this week. It'll probably be midweek, but trust me, we're gonna do it again.
Oh
But
yeah,
yeah,
let us know though. Let us know. We'll figure it out, man. Because and the main reason why we're doing this because one of us wants to go offense, one of us wants to go defense. So we're just gonna let the people decide and go from there. That's what we're gonna do. Yeah.
uh, hey, look like we already got the answer. Linebackers,
Nah,
inside outside.
Falcons.
Yep, linebackers. Southside Ricky, we did cornerbacks already, so
Yeah,
go
man. You
check that
gotta
out.
go back and catch it, man. What happened, man? You gotta
Yeah,
catch it.
we did cornerbacks already, so we're gonna do linebackers. Yeah, linebackers. Yeah, we can throw in edge rushers. Yeah, linebacker and edge. We'll do that one next. So we'll start to get that research to going, and we'll do linebackers and edge rushers next because that's gonna be a competition in itself. And if y'all go back and check out the interview with Miles Garrett, we talked a little bit
Yeah,
about that, about the
yeah.
linebacker position, and I think it's actually gotten stronger. And newcomer free agent signing, Divine Diablo has been impressing in camp and OTA so far. So that may be one of the biggest sleeper picks
We'll
um,
see.
of this whole offseason, but we'll see.
We will see. It's gonna be interesting. I mean, because we know that's a linebacker that can go sideline to sideline. I mean, that is a guy that, and it's crazy because we got that guy, and they remember Deion Jones. So it's just so many similarities. In the players and coaches and just everything that we're trying to do with this team. We're gonna see what Devon Diablo can do. I know he played with the Raiders, so I'll give him some grace with that. But we'll just see, man. I'm gonna be interested. I'm gonna be having my eye on him. It'll be interesting to see if he can get that mic. Overall, I feel like that mic is going to go to Walker. Not maybe not even this season, but eventually that's probably going to be the mic. And
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
and yes, Rodney, yes, Burrow. I borrow. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think he is a sleeper on that line, but we're gonna
Yeah.
see, man. We're gonna see,
And we call him the greater Jared clone. That's what we call him over
bro.
here.
Like he fits it. Go back and
Tony
look at
Wright,
Brandon Dorless in
Tony Wright,
college.
I don't seen all of that.
Oh
I
yeah,
actually remember watching Dorless in college at Oregon. If they can unlock that potential, and y'all got to remember, when you talk about pass rush rate, he's one of the top ones in college football a couple of years ago. So, like I tell
hmm
y'all, it's three guys on this team right now, that were top three when it comes to pass rush win rate. So
right,
that lets you know they can produce. They just need to be put in position to unlock their talents.
right.
So
Because they definitely been
Nate
going
Ollie,
after big guys. They
Nate
definitely been going
Ollie,
after big guys like him, like Dorless.
I yeah, Ali, Raheem, Jeff Ulbrich, they just had their work cut out for them. If you find out how to unlock their talents, when you talk about Rook, if you find out how to
Yeah.
unlock his talents, I think they'll be fine. But I just still believe they just need that space eater. That's look. Anthony Rush type defensive tackle. He ain't got to put numbers all over the board. Just eat up space and allow the other people to make plays. That's all we need. And I think we're switching back to a 4-3. So I think space is what you need. And I think if we were in the 4-3 when Grady was here, I think Grady is more productive because he just wasn't a 3-4 guy because he was too small. So I mean, we'll see. But
hmm
before we get out of the man, you got any more? You got one last thought before we get out of here.
And man, I'm just ready to get after it again. Wide receivers, tight ends, so that's gonna be an interesting battle. I'm gonna go back to what I said again. Interested to see if Nick Nash and Quincy Skinner can overtake one of these veterans. Can they do enough in training camp to say, hey, look, we'll walk away from one of the veterans like Blair and like Casey Washington, who really still just got here. But can't say it can't be done because, again, Chase McClellan, he's gone. You know, I said,
Right.
what Zion Luch? Remember him? You probably don't because he was gone before the season
Thank
even
you.
had started. Thank you, family,
Fact.
and stuff. So it's just like it can happen. Guys can be drafted, be here for a little bit, or not even long at all, and still be off the team. So we'll see what
Facts.
happens with that, man. But
Yeah, Lakel London actually picked up weight. He's a little bit closer to 330 now. So he
right,
could be a space eater.
he's
And Tony
332,
Wright,
I believe.
Braden Trice is one of those guys I was talking about with the pass rush win rates. Him and Dorless was, I think, number one at their positions.
Yeah,
And then
him and Doyle.
You bring in James Pierce this year. He's number three. So it's just gonna be interesting to see. But yeah, we'll go linebackers next time. We'll go inside, outside / edge rusher, and we'll have that out by the middle of the week. And yeah, Dre, I think we are switching back to a 4-3 because I think that's what Old Brick excels at. That's what they
Yep.
ran last year in New York. So I would love to see that as well. But we appreciate you, Dre Murphy. But y'all know where to find me, man. Now you go with that bullshit. But you know where to find us, man. Smitty Sports Machine on YouTube, at Fatboy Slam _21 on Twitter, and during the season, NFC South Roundtable on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. And Chris about to let y'all know where to find him because he's a dual threat guy as well. He talks Hawks and Falcons.
Oh yeah, man. You catch me over at the Hawks Digest, man. Always, talking about these good old Atlanta Hawks that got another win today. Summer League, but getting that fluidity going on and some guys out there. It was a team win, but it was some guys out there, so they're actually showing out. Interesting to see what's going to happen with some of those players. Catch me over at the Hawks Digest. Also, A1 Forever Sports, as always. That's the platform on YouTube. Come on over and like, comment, and subscribe. Have a football, baseball, NBA conversation. You just never know what will pop up on A1 Forever Sports because it is sports related. So you just never know. Also, TikTok, the real A1 Forever, Instagram and Twitter, A1 Forever, man. Hey, another great show, man. And mostly because of you guys, fan interaction. But hey, man, Smitty, another one down. Another one down, man. We got to get ready for what these linebackers and linebackers and edge rushers, huh?
Yep. So we'll try to catch y'all by midweek, but until then, y'all please keep tuning in because we still dropping daily videos from shorts all the way to full length. But like you said, man, y'all go over the Hot Digest. Justin Foreman said they could be a 50-win team. Definitely agree with that. Definitely agree with that. My boy Shaka. My boy Shaka, what's good, man? Floyd, what's good, my guy? OG right there. But yeah, man, the Hawks, man, they might be working. They might be cooking with fish grease, and they still might not be done. So y'all just keep an eye on them Hawks and see what transpires. But Twan, we going linebackers and outside linebackers midweek. But yeah, we're gonna get to that defensive tackle because we got a guy Miami who y'all talked about, Simeon Barrow. I think he's gonna be a steal for the Falcons. Vontae, appreciate you, my guy. But for my boy Chris, this your boy Antoine Smith. We're gonna sign off because it's about time to go eat dinner, and I'm a little bit hungry. But we're gonna holler. Peace.